Morning everybody, I hope you're doing well in all this cold weather. I'm going to get you a bit warmer now, and myself as well, because I'm back in the conservatory at last and the sun is shining at last. So I hope everybody's well, and I hope you don't ever try to do anything that's beyond what is comfortable for you. So today we're going to start standing, which I don't often do. So I want you to think about getting yourself in alignment first, okay? So your second toe should align with the centre of your kneecap, the centre of your kneecaps with the front of the hip bone. Then you lift your ribs, that makes you nice and tall. Draw the shoulders back and down, and then just stand. Think about where your weight is. So the first thing is to soften your knees a bit, so you're not locking them out. That will push the pelvis forwards. Second thing is to think about weight distribution. So you're not leaning maybe more on one leg or the other, or forward onto the toes, or backwards onto the heels. The next bit is you stay there, but I show you from the side. What we don't want is the tailbone tipping under here or out there. So it's up and as vertical as you can manage. So from there, not the most comfortable position, it's a natural neutral. So let's just begin with those soft knees and breathing into the rib cage. So breathe in through your nose, gently blow out through your mouth. Just get your normal lateral or thoracic breathing going. Try and keep the shoulders down so they don't hunch when you breathe in. Well, think about activating the core, and today I'm going to do it from the pelvic floor. So let's think of our internal lift with its 10 floors, and you're going to rise up to the top floor first. So keep the knees relaxed, keep the chest and the rib cage lifted. You're going to breathe in and gently pull on your pelvic floor as if you're rising to that top floor. You should feel it here, way too high, so come down. Relax the glutes as well a bit. Breathe in and pull halfway up. Your tummy should flatten when you do that. And then breathe out and release it. So this is all about control of core, which is why I do it every single time. So now the one we want today is that third floor. So breathe in and just gently pull up to the third floor. Hold that if you can, and just start to move the shoulders. I know that I've been sitting down a lot more than usual, and I get very stiff if I do. So the more we move the body, the better. And some of the movements that we miss when sitting are those that are extending us. So we'll do a little bit of that today. So let's get the shoulders moving, not too much. You just want to free them up a bit. And then keeping the knees soft. Just pedal forward by pushing one knee forward and then the other. So I'm not getting taller, I'm not lifting up onto my toes. I'm just gently mobilising my ankles, a little bit my knees, and a tiny bit my hips. And mobility is all about, it's all key to you getting moving correctly when you're doing your Pilates move. So just soften that down. I want you to just do a little side bend. So lean the fingertips towards the side of the knee joint. Just try not to let this shoulder hunch, or indeed find yourself rolling slightly forward. So it really is just a lateral movement in the spine. And that's all we need to do there, just getting the spine moving in that way. So come back to centre, soften, clasp the hands together and just push and draw in. So I'll turn sideways. Round only your upper back and then pull up straight again. So it's not flexing from here, it's keeping upright but pushing that back so you get that sort of cat-cow stretch that we do but standing. And just a few of those, getting the upper thoracics moving and the lower. Okay, one more of those. And then clasp the hands together, soften the knees again, and just gently twist and come back. So you can breathe out as you do this, as you would in the move itself when we do it as a Pilates move. but we're just rotating the spine. Main thing is you trying to keep your hips forward, so you're not taking your knee and your pelvis with you. Good. Okay, come back to centre. Think circles, think tailbone as if you're drawing circles with your tailbone, and then going right round the size of maybe a tea plate. So you're just getting as much movement there, but notice I'm not really moving my shoulders, and that's what you're trying to do. Just keep the shoulders still. Now go back the other way and just move, isolate that movement down here. Then you know you've got that mobility in your spine to do that. If we haven't, we tend to move the shoulders with it. So from there, just do a little squat down and then drop the head down and uncurl. All right, so I'll just do one of those sideways. You stick the bottom out with a nice straight spine. Then you drop down, let the head hang and uncurl. And roll back up to neutral. So let's just do 2 more of those. Like a little half roll up. And then 1 more. Good. Okay, so coming back to centre, get the neutral again. Just take the arms out and raise them up. Lean slightly back and bring the arms round. Raise them. Lean slightly back. If your low back doesn't like this, squeeze your bottom before you start to bend backwards, and that will protect the spine, but you'll still get that little low back extension there. And by taking the arms out, you get that in the upper back as well. So let's just do 1 more of those. And then relax. Okay, just another squat down. I want you to hold it this time. And just lift opposite heels. Okay, so just lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep gently pulling up through the core. Breathe, breathe wide and full. Just 2 more of these. Good. And then up we come. Okay, shake the legs out. I'm just going to point 1 foot forward without dropping that hip down. And if you can, just draw a circle round, place the foot back. Point the other foot forward, breathe out, come round and back. And then again, you can circle on your carpet or your mat, or you can make that slightly more of a balance move. Trying not to shift too much in the pelvis. There we go. So just ease out the legs. Standing tall, keep the rib cage lifted and try and just do a knee lift without 2 things happening. One is you bend forward, try not to bend forwards, and that way you'll know you're working the right part of the hip flexor. Okay, and keep the hip square on. Try not to shift the weight out here. So just try to keep the core lifted, but you're straight forward. And also try not to bend the knee as you lift to the heel. So you're keeping like a right angle at the knee joint and the hip joint. So breathe out, breathe in. Breathe out, breathe in. I'm just going to change that slightly. You're going to lift up, but then take the leg out, bring it back in and down. So breathe in, activate that core, and then out, and then back. Okay, so have your hands where they're comfortable to assist your balance, and try not to turn the pelvis around the corner as well, which is hard. I'm better on one leg than the other, I'm sure most of you are. Okay. So let's just do, oops, I'm going to go. A couple more there. Breathe out, breathe in. Good. Now, just take one leg out to the side, raise the other arm in the air, and just lift that foot. And if you can't lift the foot and hold the balance, then keep the toe on the floor, but try squeezing this glute and pulling that hip in. This is my bad leg. Okay. Of course, when you come down from it, you do the other side. So in your own time, I just want you to work through a couple of repetitions of this, holding that core in. If you start to topple, just tap the toe gently to the mat, and then just hold as you can. And good balance. Come back in. Balance, yes, it's about the core, but it's also a lot about neurologically how the brain feeds the right messages. It's also about whether we've got a hip complaint, a knee complaint. You know, we lose balance sometimes when we've had an injury, and what it is you lose awareness of how to hold that. Or you have a condition maybe that means, like me, you're a bit hypermobile, so it doesn't show to the outside world, but your joints are maybe not as strong as they need to be. So that's why we do lots of Pilates. Okay, coming from there, the glutes should feel that because they've been holding you up. And then I want you to go to the end of your mat and stand tall in that neutral again. Pull the shoulders back. Just engage the core. We're going to do a roll down. So I want you just to tuck the chin to the chest. Let the arms hang unless you need to support your back going down, holding your thighs. Roll your way down and just hang there. Now, if you can't hang there because that's not comfortable, put your hands on your shins and push your back straight, because what we're doing here is a bit of a hamstring stretch. So lift your tailbone up to the ceiling, so you lengthen the legs as much as you can. So you can either hang or you can support yourself wherever you need to. And that might be up here. Now from there, hands to the floor, you're just going to come into a kneeling position, okay? So one of the things I've noticed is when I go into my studio, I find I'm very stiff in my upper back from sitting more. So what we're going to do is work on a kneeling twist, okay? So place the hands on the shoulders. Try and get that neutral as best you can from kneeling. The knees aren't too wide. Breathe in, activate the core, and then just turn. And you'll find you can't turn as far as when you're standing, and probably not as far as when you're sitting either. So you breathe out, you breathe in. Now this is level 1. If you want to make it a bit harder, try tapping the toe, or the heel rather, behind you. So you twist and back you go a little bit. And if you don't need to support yourself in that, raise the opposite arm, lean back and then come back. So you twist and lean as you breathe out, you breathe in and come back. Breathe out, breathe in. Remember, you do not have to do the leaning back, but it's a good way just to get a bit of extension in that upper back. And you might notice the front of your thighs. They might be the bit that you're thinking, goodness me, I'm using them a lot, and the answer is yes, you are. So if you want to make it a little bit easier, just come back to that start position and just go for the spine twist, trying to hold on to that little pull of the core up through the pelvic floor, sorry. Okay. Now you've got two choices here. You're going to do a little stretch, which means you either just pull the chest open and put the hands in the small of your back and look slightly up, or you drop back to the heels and you squeeze the shoulder blades together and just look up a little bit. We're not going to hold it very long. Just lean back, whichever one you're doing, and then breathe in, breathe out, pull yourself up to center, and from there you're going to just push your bottom back and then go back into child pose. So again, as always, if you need to come onto the elbows or use a little cushion, then please do. Now come up a bit, everyone, and then arch the spine up to the ceiling, and then just release it. And then arch up again, and release it. And then just sit yourself back in child pose. This time put the hands down by the side of your body. Just want you to stay there. The forehead on the floor if you're comfortable. If you're not, you can put the forehead on a cushion and just ease out for a moment. Now come up from there, and I want you to sweep yourself around to seated. We're going to do the roll up, okay? So you have choices here. You may have a ball you want to use here. You may have a small cushion you need to use there. Mine is here. And you're simply rolling onto it like this, and that is much more supportive than having nothing there. So if you're one of those people that hitches when you come up, definitely use this. It will help a lot. So if not, you're going to sit either with your knees hip width apart and bent, or you can come with them straight if your hamstrings allow you to sit up tall in that position. Okay, so pull the shoulders back and down, relax the front of your thighs, breathe in and pull up through the core, and then just round your spine, not from the top so much as from the bottom. So you start there and just going back on an out breath, breathe in wherever you get to, and breathe out and come up. And breathe in and lift the arms. And if you want to do that bent knee because it's more comfortable and you can get more rounding in your spine, then that's the way to do it. So I'll just put that breathing in again. We breathe out as we curl into that C shape. We breathe in here, we breathe out as we come up, and we breathe in at the top. So some of you, I'm sure, are already going down to the mat. Breathe in and take the arms over your head, and then breathe out, curl, and up you come. Then breathe in as you lift up through neutral, and then down you go again. So your end position is wherever you can get to, and know that you can still come up without doing this. Alright, so keep going, knees bent or straight, it doesn't matter, it's actually whatever works best for you. And as I said, going back to as far as you can know that you can curl up without hitching and holding your breath. So you're making that as smooth a move as you can. Breathe in here. Bring the chin forwards, breathe in and lift up to neutral. So you're always ending up on your sit bones. We're working our abdominals here, not just the core, it's all those layers of muscle that sit on top of the core. And we're mainly working what's known as the six-pack muscle. Now come up from from there, we're going to roll onto our backs one more time, and everybody's going to go together. So take the cushion or the ball out if you've been using one, curl your way back, and this time we're going to use the layer of abdominals that sits under the six-pack muscles, and that's the obliques, the twisting muscles. So they're all part and parcel of nice upright posture and supporting you. What they don't do is stabilise the spine, that's the core. So slide the shoulder blades down and then just gently find your neutral with your marble. Make sure that you're not letting the knees rock out or the toes or the heels grip and dig. Find your way into that natural low back arch, the place where you can actually let go of your leg muscles and you feel that they're letting go. Then melt the shoulders, breathe in and activate the core. Level 1, we are just going to roll the knees one way, turn the head the other. Breathe in as you come up and breathe out as you go down. So this is a nice gentle version of the move. Lifting up onto the toes just makes it a little bit more challenging. The sun's out though. And then coming up to double knee fold, you can then make it more challenging. Try if you can just to keep the knees hip width apart. That way, as I'm always saying in my classes, it makes each leg work independently of the other, so you never rely on what is probably your stronger side. We all have a stronger side. So just breathe out, turn the head away, breathe in. And if any of you like to work that little bit more, then you just load the leg by lengthening it out like that. So you add more weight to the obliques trying to stabilise you. Of course you can do the double leg as well. But just be careful with that one. This is quite a lot harder. You're trying to keep both shoulders down on the mat throughout the whole movement. Good. So always turning the head so you mobilise the neck gently and you counterbalance what you're doing so that it helps you keep the shoulders down as well. So let's just go back a level or two. When you come back rolling through centre, you shouldn't have your low back arch gone. It should still be there, so you're not flattening your spine. Okay, right, just going to finish that off. In a double knee fold or feet on the floor, arms come down beside you. Lower one leg, then the other. Okay, shuffle down the mat there. Just lengthen yourself into a nice full body stretch. And up we come. So hug the knees in. Okay, now you really can flatten the back. Just ease out. Straighten one leg and just relax that straight leg. So just give the hip a little bit of a stretch, as well as the glute on the other side. And then swap to the other side by pulling the knee in first, then lengthen out the other leg. Just relax that straight leg as always. Trying to get as much contact with the floor, with the back of the thigh as you can. It shouldn't be fully on the floor, but not so you've got a great big gap. And from there we're going to roll ourselves to seated. So either roll on your side to get up or use that leg to lever you up. And we're going to do a side bend, okay? So get yourself in position, like so, and you're going to lift your waist. If you struggle being up on the arm, come down onto the elbow. And then settle yourself So you feel that when you lift, it's not going to be uncomfortable. So just do a little lift to check that that arm is in the right place. Now, everyone's waist should be lifted away from the mat and then relaxing your legs. You're going to breathe in, pull up through the core, and on the out breath, just pull the waist up and take the arm over. Hold it there, and you're going to open and close 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and down. Breathe in here, breathe out. Up you go. Breathe in here, and then breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. One more. And then down we come again. So keep going with that. If it's too much, raise up like this, and then do the clam with the hips still on the floor. Try and keep that arm so it's at the side of your ear. Okay, now keep going. If it's better for you to do it here, just make sure you're not dipping into that shoulder. You're locking it in place, and up you come, nice and strong, and the same move. And down. So whichever works for you. Just keep pulling on the underside of your waist to make sure that you're pulling up, and then obviously you're working on the side of the hip. So we're going to do 2 more sets. So pull up again, and open and close. So obviously this strengthens the shoulder girdle as well. And down we go. Can't do this one with straight legs, so pull again from underneath. Last one, up and down, up and down, with the breathing. Okay, now, sweep round. Sit there for a moment, just roll yourself forward, tuck your head between your knees, and just stay there for a moment. Then, going on to the other side. So set yourself up again, get yourself comfortable, do that little lift, make sure it feels like you're in the right place. And you're just going to stack everything, pull the waist up, draw the shoulders down, soften the elbow, relax the thighs, breathe in and activate the core. Now pull from here, pull up and over, and then out breath, in breath, out breath, in breath. One more, out breath, in breath, and down. Breathe in at the bottom and pull again. Out and in. Good. Okay, so as I said on the other side, and keep going. If you don't want to add in a lift, then just pull the waist, and you're still working the same muscles, you just haven't got the load through the shoulder. So you're still getting the clam as well. And again, keep going. If you're coming up from here, lock that shoulder in place. Keep pulling through your waist. And just continue the move like so. And then down. So we'll just do 3 more sets. So pull, and then open and close. Breathe out, breathe in. Keep pulling from underneath. Don't let that shoulder drop or the elbow lock. And again, pull. So you're literally almost leaning sideways. If you were standing up, you'd be bending to the side. And then down we go. One more. Pull. Up and over. Good, and then down we go. Bring the legs round. And again, lean your body weight forward, round your spine, so you basically create symmetry back in the spinal muscles as well as the spine itself, and let them all relax together. And then come up from there. Just want you to lift up tall, and I want you to just turn and look one way. So you're holding on to the side of your shin or your knee, and use it to pull you round, so you get a little bit of a stretch of those muscles you've just been working. And then we're going for the other side. So wrap the arm round, use it to pull you round. And then relax again. We're going to come down onto our front, but not flat. We're going to be on the elbows. So just stick your bottom in the air and just get the elbows under the shoulders, knees hip width apart. Just lean back for a moment so you're stretching the underside of your arms. Now press your chest to the floor. It's another good extender of the upper back. If you get any clicks, that's not a problem. Roll back so your shoulders are over your elbows again. You're going to lengthen one leg out. Now first thing is to stretch the calf, so push that heel away and use your arms to push you back as well. And we're going to work the glutes, so I want you to relax that stretch, slide the shoulder blades down, relax this leg a bit, breathe in and activate your core. We're going to lift up and we're going over the other side, and then you come back again. Now you can make this a little lift and a little tap, so you're not going very far. Or you can make it a slightly bigger lift and a slightly more extended movement, so it's coming right out like this. What you don't want is you're twisting your body too much. That movement wants to come from the hip. So this way it works on inner thigh and glutes, and this way it works on outer thigh and glutes. So just keep going as little or as much as you want, so I'll just do a small version. Now I haven't mentioned breathing because all I want you to do is breathe. So you might find your in-breath is better here and your out-breath is better there. You might find the opposite, so as long as you breathe wide and full, just use this movement to work around the hip. Okay, so the foot's reasonably relaxed, you're not digging, you're not pointing, it's just hanging. And then that way you're working more up into the hip area. Don't forget to pull up through that pelvic floor, that will keep your tummy pulled in. So it activates all of the core when you do that. So don't let the tummy relax. I'm just going to do one more. Breathing out, breathing in. Hold it and then go back. That's when you'll feel the lactic acid build. So I want you just to roll yourself back into child pose again. Keep the elbows where they are, so you're not going completely back. And then round your spine into a humpback bridge and come up onto the elbows again. Move forward till your elbows are under your shoulders and drop back into the position that you were in, okay? So we're going to straighten out the other leg and push that heel away so you get a nice calf stretch. And some of us have been doing a lot more walking, and that's one of the muscles you do need to stretch is your calves. They'll feel it, particularly if you've been wearing heavy walking boots. Now release it, slide the shoulder blades down, relax that leg, breathe in and activate the core, off you go again. So tap forward and back or out and in whichever way you see it, and as bigger or a smaller arc as you like. So just try and keep those shoulders down. Keep the tummy so you've pulled up through the pelvic floor. Don't let it go. Just think about keeping the tummy pulled in so you're not just letting your tummy hang. Obviously, with all the Pilates that you do, you're not going to have a tummy that hangs anyway. Or you could say all the eating you're doing, you are, so I don't know. I've tried to be really good about not eating too much, but there's not a lot for us to do when we can't work. Exercise and food. Although if you're like us, you've basically just redecorated the whole house. So keep it going, keep the breathing. Inner thigh, outer thigh, and the rear glutes working the whole time. So you might find the other leg is aching more quickly than the first one did, and that's because you've already used it. And so although it's only holding you up, you might be feeling that lactic acid in that leg as well. So just remember, you can make this a little move. It's whatever your hip allows you to do, really. You don't want too much height, you do want that stretching across. So let's just do 3 more. Keep breathing, keep pulling up. Last one. And then bring the leg in. Feel that lactic acid. Just lean back. This time let your hands be free to wherever you want them to be. Ahead of you. You might fur them down by your side now to just give them a bit of a rest. And again, pop a cushion on your lap. If bending forwards is too much, this really helps. And then just bend the arms, push yourself up. Okay, and then I'm going to offer 2 moves now. One is on all fours and the other is into a plank. So I'll show you both and then we'll set yourself up how you want to do. So it's either pull the knee in and push a digging heel back like this, so point the toe, flex the foot, or you come up to here and you're doing the same thing. Okay? So that obviously is harder. So you might want to start with one and go down on the knees when you need to, or see what you can do. So I'm going to start with level 1 with on all fours. Slide the shoulder blades down, and it's 3 on each side. We're not going to do that many of these because we've been up on the arms anyway. So just relax your thighs. Make sure you're not here or here, but then relax the thighs. Soften the elbows, breathe in and pull up. And so you dig the heel, you pull. So you breathe out, you breathe in. You breathe out, you breathe in. And then you place it down. So breathe out, breathe in. I think I've got that back to front. That's breathe out, that's breathe in. And down. Now keep going, we're going to alternate. So if you come into plank, make sure your bottom's not here, you're a nice flat spine, and it's pull in, lengthen. So point the toe, flex, and down. Okay, flex, in. Just go with what's comfortable. It doesn't matter if you pull the knee in to start or push the foot away to start your counting. It's whatever works. So I'll just go back to this one. So this one, you'll need to curl the spine a little bit. And then one more. And down. So that wasn't too challenging if you were on all fours. It was just giving your movement back in the glutes, a bit of flushing with the blood there from the one before. The prone plank version, quite a lot harder as you may have gathered. So let's all come back and just do a little Sphinx position, tuck the toes under, peel up to here, and then just engage your core and then hold here if you want to. If you don't, keep the knees down. I'm just going to hold that just 30 seconds or so. If you think, oh no, then pop the knees down. If you want to, you can just start rocking backwards and forwards on the toes, stretching those calves again, but you're actually just making it harder. Okay, and then we're going to come down. So just lie on your side and tuck your knees in like so. Have a little rest. When you've had a rest, I want you to come up to this position with the legs out wide. Wide is meaning as comfortable as you can be. You need to be sitting on your sit bones, and again, if you tip back like this, pop your cushion under your sit bones so it tilts your pelvis forwards, and that will help. Okay, so lift up tall again. I'm going to take both hands behind for a moment, and I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades together and just look up and just try and relax your legs. And then come forward, and we're going to place the hands here for this one. So the first thing is to try and let go in the thighs so you're not gripping. Breathe in and activate the core, and then from there you're going to twist as you do for a saw, and you're going to go down. You're going to come up and back. Then you're going to go down to the side, same side, down to the side. So now the other side, breathe out, breathe in. Now, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, okay? So twist first, down second, up you come, straighten out, side bend, side bend, twist the other way, and down, up you come, back to center, bend to the side, bend to the side. Couple more of these, so round and down. Keep the head straight on top of the body, so you don't lead with your chin or lead with your head so that you'll go down lower. Just let your body show you how far it can go from the hip down rather than leading with your head. Okay, so round, down, up and back, tip, tip. Last one, round, down. Keep the sit bones down, up, center it, tip, and tip. And then bring the arms down, bring the legs together, come back on your mat, Okay, pull your heels in, and I want you just to curl down, but bring your feet with you. Okay, so going to do a little bit of a low back release, and what we do with this is it's like the corkscrew without doing the move really. You pull in and you go round. You pull in and you go round. So don't worry about thinking breathing or neutral. You've got a flat back for this one. You're just pulling in as much as you can and then just rolling off onto one side of your low back each time. So the low back obviously gets used a lot, which is why we stabilise it by activating the core before we start the move. Now come back to centre. I'm going to do a developmental hamstring stretch. So two of the muscles that get really shortened from sitting down more, and you'll probably all tell me when we come back that no, you're up every day out working and everything good. Unfortunately, I haven't had that pleasure, but I do go out walking. But what I want you to do is straighten out the leg. All right, and then lift the leg you're holding still into the air. Now, if that is not comfortable in your low back, which we just freed up a bit, so it should be, bend the knee and keep it bent throughout. If it's fine, you're not holding this up into the calf, you're holding it behind the thigh, and you're not pulling it as hard as you can, you're easing it in. And you get your leg as straight as you can. So if the leg is bent, you won't get any stretch on the hamstrings. So it has to be where your leg is at its straightest, whatever that is, okay? So we're holding that in, and eventually this should all start to relax around here as well. So you're going to take one hand up there, or both if you can reach and your leg is still straight as you can manage, and you ease in. So you're increasing the range of movement there. Now study your foot, and if it's shaking, you need to ease off. Or you can bend the knee, which will help you get a little bit more hamstring stretch without the shaking. So don't pull as hard as humanly possible, just ease it so you start to feel that stretching. Now still holding it there, I want you to push it away. So even if you're not reaching the lower part of the leg, hold on to the back of the leg, push it away but pull it at the same time until you've got a lot of tension in there. And then let it go so it relaxes, and see if you can ease it further still. Then release it down. Okay, so again, we'll start with that leg straight this time. Bring the other leg up, straighten it into the air. If you're not comfortable, bend this knee and leave it with a bent knee throughout. Ease the leg in. Allow it to relax, meaning just focus on letting it relax. Then reach up to the calf if you can, ease the leg a bit further in. Again, if you feel you're limited or it's shaking, ease it off slightly or bend that knee to get more range. And then push the leg away at the same time as you pulling it, so you're fighting your own leg. So you've got a lot of tension going on there. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Then totally relax it. Then see if it will come further back, which it should do. And then if you want to straighten out the leg again because you bent it, you can have a go. Mine's shaking a bit now actually. And then release it. I just want to finish off with putting your soles of your feet together and just letting the knees drop out. So you are stretching on the inner thighs. Just letting it all relax. Take a few deep breaths in. Let the legs go out that little bit further if they will. They'll just drop out of their own accord. If that's not comfortable, hold on to them. And then hold on to them. Pull up through your pelvic floor to pull your legs together. Roll up onto one side to get yourself up. Don't get up too quickly, but thank you very much.